If you want to strike it rich in 2024, if you want to strike it rich in 2025, you are going to have to master attention. In this video, I'm going to show you the new way to monetize your content in 2024. Guys, this is a beginner's guide. Stick to the end because it's going to be something very special that's going to take your content creation to a whole nother level. Hello, my name is Joshua Giles, and for the last 15 years, I have helped content creators create their way to wealth, making millions of dollars online, teaching these very principles and systems that have helped people create generational wealth and multiple streams of income. And so what I want to share with you right now is in 2024, and as we head into 2025, there is something new on the horizon, but you have to recognize it. And what that is this: attention is the new oil. Attention is the new gold rush. As we remember, many of you are my age, or some even older, some maybe a tad bit younger. You may have played the video game Oregon Trail. Okay, one of my most favorite games of all time. I remember being in school, and when we had some free time, or you were a good student, or whatever the situation may be, I remember the computer being in the back, right? And having that time where I could run to the back, and you had so much time that you could play the Oregon Trail, right? Which not only allowed you to have a gaming experience, so to speak, in that time frame, but also to learn the history of the West and the Oregon Trail and what happened along that time period and the gold rush, okay? When I began to play that game, I began to see that many people left to go to the West for a better life. They would hear stories of there's a gold rush and everybody's striking it rich and all you have to do is A, B, and C, and all of these stories would trickle into the towns throughout America. And since there was no Wi-Fi, no phones, nothing back then but snail mail and word of mouth, you would hear these stories and families would uproot everything they had and they would travel through the Oregon Trail. They would travel out west to experience a better life or to strike it rich, right? Because there was gold in them hills, something crazy like you hear on TV shows, right? And many people died, as I experienced in the game, dysentery was something bad. You always died of dysentery. I'm like, why am I always, getting dysentery? I gotta, shoot these animals better and have better rations. For those who played the game, drop in a comment if that was you and you know what I'm talking about, right? So I learned to master the game. I beat it 1,000 times. It was just awesome. But why am I giving you this picture? I want you to place this in your mind that back then, the word of mouth and the story that was going throughout the nation was, if you want to strike it rich, you better move out west because there's gold out there, okay? Well, let me tell you something. If you want to strike it rich in 2024, if you want to strike it rich in 2025, you are going to have to master attention. Attention is the new gold rush. Attention is the new oil. And you may say to yourself, Joshua, what does that even mean? Well, number one, I've got you on here watching me, all right? So I've got your attention, meaning I'm giving you the ability to like me, know me, and trust me, right? And through that process, when you bring people through stages of awareness, they start to see the individual that they're listening to as the authority in that field, right? So for example, I am an authority in the business world. I am an authority in training professional athletes. I was able to have a gym down the street from the president in Palm Beach, training celebrities, millionaires, billionaires. That was the training world. In the business perspective, I've helped people make $1 million in a week, $600,000 in 7 days. We've done over 7 figures ourselves. So there's an authority established there. And so as you hear me talk to you and I explain the journey, the process, the pitfalls, the mistakes to avoid, you start to say, man, this is the person I need to listen to in order to get to where I want to go, all right? And so the beginner's guide of, basically getting out content, doing what you're supposed to do, and monetizing it, well, there are many factors to that. But the number one factor is, if people do not listen to you, they will not pay you. If you're a coach, consultant, course creator, content creator, influencer, you're hearing my voice, you have the greatest advantage of anyone in the history of the 21st century. And it's the internet, it's the digital world, okay? We're able to turn on a camera, put some microphones right here, some lights, and post this video, and people around the world are gonna get to know me. They're gonna get to like me. They're gonna get to trust me. And then you and many others are gonna say, can you please help me? Can you coach me? Can you show me what I need to do to create generational wealth? Can you show me what I need to do to create passive income? Can you show me what I need to do to leave an inheritance to my children's children? And I'm gonna say absolutely, and I'll be able to show you that, all right? When you're starting the process of first mastering attention, mastering communication, there is a science, there is a psychology to it. Now, you can either work with human nature or you can fight human nature, but there's only one way to win that battle, and it's to work with human nature. You can't fight human physiology, it's impossible. But what you can learn from it and how you can bring forth substance and a change in this world that has been positioned within you, that you have a desire, a passion, and you can bring it into the world with more people listening to you if you learn to work with human psychology and human nature, all right? And you may be saying, what does that even mean? Well, number one, if you want to get people's attention, you need to be relatable. If I were to dress crazy, if I had gold chains, diamond necklaces, hair's pink and yellow, and cut off t-shirt, tattoos all over myself, and I'm sitting here talking to you about how to be financially independent, how to make $1 million, number one, you're not gonna listen, right? There may be a very, 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 very small select people who listen, but the majority are going to immediately disregard anything I have to say because of my appearance. So what's the principle here? The principle is you have to learn the people you're called to, and you have to fit into the mold of relatability to them, okay? If I want to help people in the 9 to 5, if I want to help people who are in the workforce, then I need to speak workforce language. If I want to help people who believe within themselves that they can make $1 million, then I need to speak to that. I don't need to speak to making your first $3,000 in a month, because that's too low level, right? I'm called to the mindset of a millionaire. I'm called to the mindset of a leader. And so my language has to speak to that individual so that it relates to them properly, right? They'll hear what I have to say and begin to listen. So you need to first start to hone in on exactly who you're called to serve, okay? Because sales is service, all right? And I can go back to biblical principles. If you're going to be a leader, you're going to be a servant of all, okay? And that's just the truth. If you are a business owner, you are a servant to the customer. It's a fact. Now, money is a byproduct of that service, but it can't be a forefactor of your focus, okay? So watch this. If I just focus on the money I'm gonna make, I will always have a bad customer experience quality, always, because the focus will never be on the service and being a servant. It'll always be on the outcome of what I receive, which is not the proper way God intended when He placed principles in the Bible. It was to serve. And as you're serving, the sales process is easy because you're not selling, you're serving. And when you serve, people don't feel like you're trying to sell them something. They just feel that you genuinely care. And so the quality of your communication is at a higher level. They're more receptive to what you have to say, and then they're more open to what you have to offer. Okay, is that making sense? If that's making sense to you, I want you to drop down a number 1 in the comments for me, all right? All right, so next factor is, in order to monetize the content in 2024, and do it properly at record speed, this is what I wanted to share with you that was going to blow your mind, is I'm going to show you how to do it at record speed, okay? You need to learn to use the tools available at your disposal. What do I mean by that? Go to Google and start studying tools for management, tools for software, tools for, where CRMs, how to have, your customer retention management systems, how to host your courses. You have to have an understanding of what is even available out there to help your process, because if you try to do it the Stone Age way and you try to do everything yourself and you don't use what's available, you're going to dry up your resources and your mental faculty very quick, okay? We want to do everything we can to remove mental pressure to keep the state of creativity. Because as a content creator, you see the word, you're a creator. The juices you have and the expression and change you're called to in this earth comes from your realm of creativity. There's 4 stages of wealth. There's implementer, which is the workers. These are the people who believe that hard work equals good results, and that is not always the case. For example, a construction worker works really hard. A steel worker works really hard, but they don't make much money. So the hard work is a principle that needs to be applied, but it's not one of the stages that brings people to wealth, okay? That's an implementer. They're worker bees. They work hard. They're a foundation of businesses and systems, but they don't make much money. The next level is what we call the unifier. The unifier is the manager, okay? They unify the implementers from killing each other, from stealing from the company. They keep them unified for the goal of the vision of the business. Now, the unifier, usually the false belief in their mind is that more education equals more income, and that's not the case also, because I know many people with 4-year degrees, bachelor degrees, master's degree, and they still only make about $60,000 to $80,000 a year at most, and that's if you're in the top 1% of unifiers, which is managers, okay? The next stage is speakers, okay? The 3rd stage of wealth is speakers. These people are master communicators. When you can communicate effectively, you have now brought yourself up to a different realm of wealth, okay? You're a master communicator, all right? Look at actors, look at, George Clooney, look at, and I don't even know the actors of this day and age, but look at those people, right? And they make $100 million a film or $50 million, and all they're doing is communicating and expressing language, okay? So speaking is one of the top ways to have wealth. Now, the last stage, which is the highest stage of wealth creation, is the imaginators. This is the creative realm. This is why I told you that if you can do everything you can to remove pressure off your creative faculties, you'll put yourself in the greatest position to produce wealth in the earth, okay? Creativity is the source of everything. If there's no creativity, then you can't produce, okay? You have many writers who say they have writer's block, or I can't muster up creativity for a project. Well, there's something that's pulling upon them that's causing that physical exertion, or maybe they're putting too much time in another area that they shouldn't be focusing on, that's killing the actual area of their strength, which is creativity. And so for that, you need to make sure that you put yourself in an atmosphere, in a position to where your creativity can always be functioning at the highest level. You think about this, a man who created a rat, the whole economy of Florida is wrapped up in that rat. That's Mickey Mouse. And so the imaginator realm is the highest realm of wealth. And so if you're operating as an implementer or a unifier, and you want to take your life and your income to another level, you're going to have to start mastering the skills of communication and imagination. And this is the fastest way to monetize your content in 2024.